Hello everyone, it's ProTrader7 here today, and here is my second episode in my latest series, Anniversaries of Gaming Legends, where I'm still exploring gaming's biggest franchises that are celebrating some big anniversaries in 2021. In this video, I'll be concentrating on one of the greatest media franchises, in fact, the greatest to ever hit the planet, Pokemon. In this video, I'll be studying its history and considering its future in a hypothetical sense. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Pokemon was created by Satoshi Tajiri, whose hobby when he was a boy to collect insects, and also he had a fascination in video games, so later on down in his life, he approached Nintendo to create Pokemon, but at the time it was known as Capsule Monsters, but there was copyright issues at the time, and with Pocket Monsters, as it's now known, started its journey in 1996 in Japan. In fact, it was released February 27th 1996. Blimey, that's 25 years ago. But Satoshi Tajiri was not the only one who was behind Pokemon. He was the main guy that had the idea for it, but Ken Sugimori was the art guy for it, should we say, art director, and he designed the Pokemon themselves. So the basic gist is, you are a boy or a girl, child anyway, definitely. You get a choice of one of three starters. It's either a grass type, a fire type, or a water type. You then set off an adventure to defeat 8 gym leaders. Once you defeated 8 gym leaders, you head to the Elite Four to challenge them and defeat them, and then defeat the champion at the time, and that's pretty much it. And it's just pretty much that, really. And once you finish the main story mode, you can catch all your Pokemon. But not if you're a VGC player, because Pokemon has a huge community of competitive players, which really, for me, adds depth to a game that is pretty bare bones, to be honest. When Pokemon was released in Japan in 1996, it was the first of its kind to release 2 versions of the same game. The 2 versions of this were called Red and Green. But when it reached Europe and the United States, it was released in the United States in 1998, but it didn't reach European shores until 1999. But what we had when it was released was Red and Blue, which were modified versions of the original games, which had a lot of bugs in them, the original ones at the time. Yeah, the original Japanese ones had bugs in them. So when we got the original ones in the West, it just took off like crazy. I remember it. I thought it was a bit of a fad at the time, to be honest, but as you get to know the series, you do become, I don't know, in this one it really brought me in. Anyway, that's enough about me. So the first change came in Gen 2, which had the introduction of 2 new types, which were Dark and Steel. This nerfed Psychic types, which were dominant in Gen 1. But not only types were introduced in Gen 2, we also had the held items and the egg moves mechanic brought in. So let me go into the items which basically enhance your Pokemon. So for example, if you had leftovers, for example, you can also recover bits of HP at the end of each turn. Or Mystic Water, which powers up water type moves, and Charcoal that powers up fire type moves. And not only that, you had berries that could heal you up some HP. That makes any sense at all. But also, we also had, as I said before, we had the egg moves mechanic, which is when a Pokemon learns moves leveling up, they're sets or TMs, where the breeding mechanics helps you inherit moves from the father. So, for example, if you had a if you want to breed a Totodile that knows Crunch, because you didn't know Crunch back then, you had to breed it with a Tyranitar, with a male Tyranitar. So the female Frogger and the male Tyranitar breed. Totodile then gets the move Crunch, and then you got an egg move. That's what they mean by egg moves. And with the arrival of Gen 3 in the form of Ruby and Sapphire, we had another few changes brought in as well. You could not transfer Pokemon from older games, from Gold and Silver, onto this game, which annoyed a lot of fans, including myself. But also, we had abilities introduced and natures introduced. Natures, if you don't know, are basically helps what hinders or helps your stat growth when you're leveling up your Pokemon. So, for example, if your Pokemon has a Jolly Nature, your speed increases, but your special attack doesn't increase as much. So yeah, that added another depth to the mechanics of the battling system. And following from Gen 3 is Gen 4, which is my favourite, well, I won't say favourite, I'd say second favourite generation? Second or third, whichever one. So basically, in this generation, had introduced quite a few things, nothing major, but the one that stood out most of all to me was attacks and special attacks and defense and special defense were all repurposed in a way, such as whereas before Gen 4 Thunder Punch was considered a special move, where now, well, from Gen 4 it's now considered a physical move. And for example, let's have a look at another one. Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, before Gen 4, was considered a physical move, depending on the typing. So yes, Shadow Ball was a physical move because it was a ghost type, where now it is, well, since Gen 4, is now considered a special. So it's like that restructuring on the way the moves are basically used helped it in a way make more sense, if that makes any sense at all. And leading on from Gen 4, we had Gen 5, which were in the form of Black and White. Now this generation was the first one not to do remakes, thank God, because let's face it, remakes were overrated, apart from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I love you, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But we saw the introduction of triple battles, which were like double battles but triple, and rotation battles, which is a new take on single battles. I think that's really pretty much done with it, apart from the obvious graphical upgrade and stuff like that. But that was still on the Nintendo DS, which was awesome. And following from Gen 5, which is Gen 6, which had some of the biggest upgrades to Pokemon battling I've seen. Well, I say biggest, I mean a new mechanic I'm about to explain to you now. So Gen 6 saw a experimental mechanic which turned out to be a great success, which was Mega Revolution, where you attach a stone to your certain Pokemon. For example, in this example I'm going to use Charizard. You attach a Charizard at Y or X, depending on which version of your game you have, because X and Y obviously came out to mark the start of Gen 6. So you attach your stones to your Pokemon, and in battle you have a key item which is called the Keystone, which helps you and your Pokemon bond together, which causes Mega Evolution process, wherefore your Pokemon completely changes shape. It basically adds a new level of power to your Pokemon. So in Charizard's case, I'm going to use Charizard X as an example. It gained an increasing attack and defense, which really helps against those rock types, which kept annoying me when I kept using Charizard. And it just gave it a new power level, basically. And in Charizard X's case, it changed the ability as well, which was, in Charizard X's case, Tough Claws, which increased its attack on contact. Like, for example, Flare Blitz powers increased, and moves like I Top Mine, Thunder Punch, which increased its attack, and with this experimental change from Gen 6, helped, it was very popular in the VGC community. In fact, we were calling for it back. But Gen 6 had one flaw, which was the introduction of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which, I'll be honest, it is a vast improvement on Ruby and Sapphire. But remakes don't really need to keep being made. Right, that's enough of me whinging. On to the next bit. And following from Gen 6, we have Gen 7, obviously, because it's going in numerical order. So in Gen 7, it saw the introduction of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which abandoned the old formula of getting 8 gym badges, challenging Elite Four, defeating the champion, yada yada yada. But in this one, you had to do island trials, so it's a number of little, let's call it mini missions within each island that you go to in the Alola region. Once you defeated all of the, once you've done all the little tasks in each island, you got to face the Island Kahuna, which acted in this game to be like the gym leader. And you got given Z Crystals. I'll go into Z Crystals in a minute, but that's what you got after doing each challenge and stuff like that. So the Z Crystals, what they're in aid of are Z moves, which are a very powerful version of a particular types of moves. So when you used that Z move, it activates and it causes a Pokemon to use a very powerful move. So it wasn't that great, but yeah, that was the introduction of this gen. That was the gimmick of this generation. It still kept Mega Evolutions, but yeah, Z moves were the focus of this generation, which I didn't think was. I thought it was pretty bland, to be honest. It looked great, it was a lovely game to play, but it wasn't the best Pokemon generation it was. But also in this generation, we got to have a new form of legendary Pokemon, which were Ultra Beasts. And after Gen 7 came Gen 8, which is currently the generation that we're in now, with the arrival of Pokemon Sword and Shield. But for those who have not played Pokemon Sword and Shield for now, I will say it is probably on par with, I'd say it's better than Gen 7 and Gen 5, but not as good as Gen 6. But it is good, where I'll tell you why, because in my mind, Pokemon Sword and Shield introduced the Dynamax mechanic, which made your Pokemon huge, basically, or if it's a certain type of Pokemon who can Dynamax or Gigantamax, like Charizard, got new form, and it's basically combining the two elements of Z moves and Mega Evolution, but in Dynamax terms, it only lasts for 3 turns, whereas Mega Evolution lasted until either the Pokemon fainted or the battle ended. And it was, I thought it was a nice little mechanic, to be honest, because it limited you. But there was quite a lot of controversy over Pokemon Sword and Shield, which was the National Dex, which wasn't being used as much, because they cut quite a lot of the Pokedex. For example, they got rid of quite a lot of to be honest, I would say they're my favourite. I mean, they got Greninja's not in it, and I miss Greninja, but I can accept that he's not there, but he will return. But there was a major backlash over it, and I get it, but there wasn't as big a need as what some people went to, but I won't go into that in this video. And that's enough of me waffling about the past. Let's talk about the future. At the time of this recording, we do know that Diamond and Pearl are getting remade in the form of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But what I've seen of this footage is that it's a faithful remake of the game, not actually brought into Gen 8. Which I'm kind of glad of, really. I know I've made a video of saying why Diamond and Pearl shouldn't be remade, but it's a good sign because people who've never played Diamond and Pearl before will get a chance to play it on the Switch, and with slightly better graphics than what they did, than what we had on the DS. But having said all that, it wasn't only Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that was announced. There was another game set in Sinnoh, which was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, from what I can gather of this game, from the footage that Game Freak showed us, this is 100% made from Game Freak. And it does seem to be, I know a lot of people are saying this, Pokemon's answer to Breath of the Wild, should we say. And by the looks of it, as I can see from the footage, your trainer is more mobile, and the battles take place in the overworld, which is good in the right direction, really, because I suppose it, I don't know, probably help memory with Game Freak, really. Instead of cutting to a battle scene, you get to see the actual battle take place outside on the overworld, as what you do see in the anime. I honestly think it's going in the right direction for Game Freak with this new game, and I cannot wait to play it. But not only that, I reckon in a future Pokemon title we should have better customization on our character. I've been playing this game from day one, since Gen 1. I've been playing it, and we need better customization for our characters. We cannot be a child anymore, because a lot of us have grown up with a franchise and would like to see our avatars get older. Meaning, I'd like to see some adult avatars, because they managed to do it in Pokemon Battle Revolution, which was it was a good substitute for Stadium, but I won't say it's the best, but it's a good enough substitute for me. But it can happen, it can do it. Why not bring it in, Game Freak? Because we'd like to see it, and it could be in another way. Thinking about it, it could be a better way to increase difficulty. So if you want a more difficult game, have an adult avatar. There you are. Why not? Because it will increase difficulty, because a lot of people complain that the story is too easy, which it is. You can fly through it. It can take about a day or two just to fly through it if you have a lazy day or something. But why not make it more challenging by changing the avatar to an adult? Why not do that? But also, moving away from customization just for a minute, why not bring back the Battle Frontier? Because we want that Battle Frontier back, but we don't seem to be getting it. But bring it back in such a way where we can get rewards off it, like certain special items, or access to legendary Pokemon, or customizable items, things like that. It would be a lot easier for us to have a little practice round in one of them. Because if you have had a bad day battling online and you need a bit of a pick-me-up, do the Battle Frontier. It's a no-brainer, Game Freak. But whilst I'm on the subject of Battle Frontiers, once you've completed the Battle Frontier, the entire thing, battled all the brains and that, I reckon they should ask you to come back to create your own little tournament thing. And this is the best bit, what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about it quite a lot. You get to customise your own Battle Frontier. You get to design your own stadium and base the avatar off you, or off your in-game avatar, really, as the Frontier Brain, and you can share it online with other people. So you can challenge that Frontier, and it'll be a good way to socialise with other people's things. It's kind of like bringing back the bases in a sense, but in a tournament way, because this could replace the stadium games, because I want a stadium game, and I think this would be a good route around it. But whilst I'm on the subject of that, you can design your own battle symbol as well. Your Frontier symbols, what you used to get back in the day. Back in the day, God, that's a while ago, that, isn't it? But yeah, you can design your own little battle symbol on your Switch. I think it's a no-brainer, Game Freak. Do it. Am I talking to Game Freak? Am I talking to everyone else on the internet? Yeah, I'm talking to everyone else on the internet. But also, while I'm on the subject of the Battle Frontier again, obviously sharing with your friends, so you can create your own little Battle Frontier amongst your friends. There you go, there's another idea for you. I know it's going to take a lot of space up on your Switch or whatever, but it is kind of on the lines of Breath of the Wild kind of stuff. If you don't want to change the main mechanics of the game, why not add stuff like that in to make it more fun? You know, it's... I mean, speak to your fan base. Your fan base know what they want to see. But I'm just putting that idea out there because it'd be a good idea. I think, anyway. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and what you think of the Battle Frontier idea, because I quite like it. Right, thanks a lot. See you again. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.